afternoon and welcome to the Copper Box in Stratford, London. We're on the edge of the Olympic Park and we are just having the teams introduced. It's London Lions versus the Oaklands Wolves in the WBBL. It's myself, Graham Hiscott, alongside Michael Hanson-Morris, and Michael, another big game, big event here at the Copper Box for the WBBL.
Yeah, for sure, and obviously we're International Women's Day just a few days away, a big week in the league. We saw the record attendance broken in Leicester last night, and now we're going to have a really competitive game between the Lions and the Oakland Wolves, who took the Leicester Riders to overtime on Wednesday night.
Yeah, massive performance, especially by Cassidy Gould, 33 points by her. Oaklands have been transformed with the inclusion of the three Australians with British connections, Gould, Smith and Grace George, and Bev Sarson's coming on board as well. So pre-game I spoke to the coaches, and first off was Tor Freeman. Courtside pre-game with Oakland's Wolves, Tor Freeman. Tor, welcome to the Copper Box. Another big game for your young team. How are you feeling about today's matchup with the Lions?
We're really excited to put academy players out there against such a really strong Lions team. The performance on Wednesday gave us some really positives and showed that with our 4 senior players, the juniors all contributed and what they could be.
Yeah, and just talk briefly about Wednesday. You've taken Leicester Riders to overtime, and some huge performances from your team against one of the top teams in the country.
Yeah, it kind of was everything coming together for a moment, and the 4 seniors together, Beth's made a really big impact for us, obviously. But Jacqueline, Miriam and Joanna stepping up, 3 academy players, combined with the 3 Aussies and an Oaklands product of the past, Beth. And, I think we were disappointed almost not to win it, to be honest. We were up, they came back, took it again, and not quite there.
No, it was a fantastic performance. And looking at London Lions, what's the key to slowing them down and maybe even get a win today?
Look, I think we all know they're a really good side and they're one of the strongest sides in the league by far. And it's just a chance for these guys to go out and show what they can do. The 3 Australians we brought in have been top class all year. How do they match up with this kind of style? And then the academy girls just keep showing, 16 years old, here's your chance to play against a European team.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Tor, have a great game. Enjoy the experience here at the Copper Box.
Thank you very much, Graham.
Okay, I'm courtside with Coach Stella Kaltsidou of the London Lions. Coach, another week in British basketball for you. A big win for you last weekend. How do you see the game against Oakland Wolves matching up today?
First of all, please allow me to say that to express my deepest condolences to the families of all the victims who lost their lives in Greece on the train tragedy that happened last week.
Yes.
It's I'm still in shock, and at these kind of moments where people who died was students.
Yes.
For me it just seems not right to talk about basketball, about playing sports. It's just, it's too small. It's just too small. Like all these kids, some of them were athletes and they will not have the chance to play again, so many parents just lost their children, So please allow me to not make any real comments for the game today. I just feel lucky that we have the chance to be here and just play the game. My thought and my heart is to these families.
Coach, I can see you're really emotional. I think we'll leave it there for today. Coach, enjoy the game and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Wow, that was a powerful interview, Michael, and we give all our condolences to the victims, families, anyone involved in that train crash that Stella referred to. Michael, your comments?
Yeah, obviously it's horrible losing 57 lives, but with that student impact, and it's always something bigger than basketball. We always know that, and that's impactful. I'm sure Lions have probably talked about it as a camp this week, and they're going to come out with a heavy heart, the whole roster.
Yeah, but they are no longer top of the league. Leicester Riders with their win yesterday, which you were at, Michael. Leicester winning. Now Lions are chasing, and it's going to really make for an interesting game today.
Yeah, for sure, but again, the Lions bounced back last week, but can you carry that momentum over? Obviously, Kiki was outstanding last weekend against the Cardiff Met Archers in that win, and a record 133 points against a WBBL team. They'll look to do that and keep improving on the defensive end, which is what we've seen the last couple of weeks have been the Lions' struggles.
Yeah, it was a lot clearer, the messages, for sure, as we look at this WBBL Championship round 17. Last week the messages were clear, they came out firing. Stella wants them to shoot the ball quickly within 8 seconds if they can, but it was the highest ever points in a game. 132 v Sheffield Hatters was the previous best. 61.5% from 3, 65% from the field, 36 assists. That's mind-boggling. 9 turnovers, 19 steals, 7 players with 10 plus points. Almost a perfect game.
Yeah, for sure. And Oaklands, this team has struggled in transition defence, so it's probably not the ideal matchup, but they're going to focus on that as obviously the starting 5 for the Oakland Wolves, and the big addition in the last couple of weeks being Beth Sarson. 2 games in with the Wolves, obviously played the Lions in the Cup final as well, so a huge bit of experience to add to this roster. And obviously when they met early in the year, Gould, George weren't in the country, nor was Georgia Smith, so it's a brand new group to face Lions for Oakland.
Yeah, that first game of the season was a mauling at Oaklands College, 23 to 114. They will be hoping it's not going to be like that today. Cincina, Winterburn, Herbert Harrigan, Murray and Azania Stewart, the GB legend, will be starting for London Lions. Really important they get off to a fast start. They want something similar to what they did against Cardiff Met Archers last week.
Oh, for sure, but they'll know they can grind a game like this out if they need to, and it's going to be Oakland's job to stay in this game early on and not let the gap load, because that's what happened obviously with the Met Archers last week.
If you can, please stand, as we would like to take 24 seconds of silence before we tip today's game, to lend our thoughts to those affected by the train crash that happened in Greece earlier this week.
We're just having a 24-second appreciation and just thoughts. And perfectly respected their 24-second silence for those victims of the train crash, and it's obviously affected Stella really heavily, and it's going to be a really big job for her coaches to be around her and to really keep her morale high for this game.
Yeah, for sure, and obviously that they've got a great support staff, but those thoughts are always going on, and obviously more stories are developing with the person potentially being in court today, so she'll be thinking about that, but hopefully Bath will keep her mind off it as the game is underway.
And basketball is a family, and we will all support people that are in need of it most, and we are off. Oakland's in the white. First basket, Grace George lets it go with a quick shot, and I think Oakland's have got to play loose. We spoke about it pre-game, Michael, especially these young players that are going to come off the bench. Yeah,
I caught up with Georgia Smith pre-game, and she's kind of got nothing to lose, so see what they can put out on the floor and enjoy the experience.
Well, they've certainly got good size. Grace George at 6'3", can play inside, outside. And now Zania Stewart with the jump shot is long. Georgia Smith gets the rebound, and a steady start for the Wolves. Here comes Cassidy Gould, 33 points in that win against Leicester. Slightly off from Beth Sarson's back after playing at the Riders, and of course went to Oakland's Wolves Academy. And she's back with her team. Now Kerrigan lines up a shot and misses. Still 0-0.
Yeah, and obviously they have 2 good looks for good shooters, Sarson at one end, Kiki at the other, as Georgia Smith can't connect, but both teams kind of going to be happy with those opening threes, but now knowing they've not gone in, now it's going to time to settle, try and get something going at the rim.
Yeah, I mean both teams have had good looks, as you say, Michael. The ball hasn't been able to go down. So Murray, Winterburn into the corner, Harrigan just taking her time at her own pace, and nothing but strength.
Yeah, it's poor defence by Oakland to leave the Kiki open in the corner, late out on the rotation. That's someone you do need to run off the line shooter. Just over 50% from downtown.
And Grace George misses, and collected by Cincina, and away comes Murray, who's going to be an issue. I think she's an issue for any team because she's so quick.
Yeah, indeed, and that's going to be the staple with Lions trying to play quicker and quicker, getting the ball in someone like Taylor Murray's hands. Vorpal, when she comes in, both are able to really push the ball and be aggressive in transition.
Harrigan looking inside Cincina. Got a good size match-up and a nice turnaround with a bit of fade.
Yeah, and that's what we saw, the staple of last week. Lions trying to get the post-ups for the guards and the wings on the mismatch, using length.
And Sarsen has the ball knocked away, no foul. Good aggression though by Beth Sarsen. She's just got to take every opportunity to attack.
Yeah, indeed, and Chelsea, she's played London a couple of times with Leicester in the season. They did a lot of work for that cup final, so she'll know some of the strengths and weaknesses of the players, and they're trying to exploit Cincina off the dribble.
Cassidy Gould, Davison alumni college, but again they're going to key. That's going to be the scout key on the imports, and that will slow Oakland's Wolves down. Beautiful pass. Murray just sneaking in on the baseline for an easy 2.
Yeah, and another breakdown by Oakland in transition defence. Just you can't leave someone wide open in the paint, and just not enough communication. And Tor Freeman's going to be disappointed with that from his side, with the experience on the floor.
Grace George off the dribble, long 2 incoming, and she's just short. And slightly worrying signs early because they're backing off. Murray knocks it down, and someone needed to engage with Murray a little bit earlier there.
Yeah, and you can see those transition defence we alluded to in the pre-game, just not switched on, not knowing where to know. Side picking up Murray's definitely not a matchup you want, and Lions able to exploit it.
Cassidy, what a move from Cassidy Gould. Nice play.
Yeah, and Gould had a big game on Wednesday. Particularly from downtown. It was something that wasn't on the scouting report, but gets it going. Oakland's finally off the board.
Winterburn attacks, looks left and attacks right. Good attempt by Grace George, but it was a foul. She poked it away from behind. She's a tricky player, Winterburn. She's got a lot of tricks.
Yeah, offensively so gifted, can score all different types of levels, and obviously defensively is strong as well. So great all-around play, and it's that matchup with Grace George is going to be interesting, because I was speaking to her over Christmas, and he believes Grace having the British passport should be part of the GB setup, so this is a big opportunity for her against someone like Holly, who ultimately will play a similar type of role in the national team. Yeah,
and she just gives extra size as Azania goes inside, and with a little push lean shot gets it to go for 88.
Yeah, foul on, I believe that's Lewis Gale, who had just checked into the game, so immediately off the bench. And again, there's difficulty with his Oakland size, even with George being 6'2", 6'3", they're missing that pure position 5, and that's something that Azania knows how to exploit really well.
And she's just done that as well, just a solid season, and that is the ultimate shooter's role.
Yeah, I don't quite know how that went in off the top of the backboard. It's not something you see every day from a free throw, but I'm sure Azania will take it in her final season.
That could be in the top 10 plays of the week, as Gould shoots it and just can't get it to go. Winterburn, and out of bounds, still Wolves ball.
Substitution for the London Lions.
Substitution battles in.
And this is the depth of London that we know is coming. Azania taking a break, Ty Battle checking in, and you won't get any drop-off, slightly different playing styles, but that deepness of the bench, like everyone's going to be able to contribute, and that's what we've seen all season long from this Lions roster.
Winterburn from the corner, knocks it down with a hand in her face, and they're off and running, the London Lions.
Yeah, and similar to last week, just points early on, up to 15 already inside 4 minutes. So we saw multiple 30-point quarters last week.
And again, the ball's just sticking. They can't get into the flow of the offense. Oakland Wolves, Sarsen's attacking, throws it up, underhand, two-handed shot. Real circus shot there, Michael.
Yeah, and great job to avoid the defenders. Cincina did a pretty good job managing to stay in front and make it difficult with Sarsen with the great rearrangement.
Just short there, but offensive rebound. They've got to rebound. Pretty good. Holly Winterburn, with an afterthought, gets it to go.
Yeah, and we saw Sarsen at one end, and Winterburn does the same. Was looking for a pass, didn't see one, and then realised I'm going to have to put it up to avoid the travel, and still managed to finish it.
Yeah, nice touch from Holly Winterburn. London Lions in control, and it's time out, and this is how we sort of expected it to go. What have Oakland Wolves got to to switch up here, Michael, to just slow Lions down?
I think you need to make open shots. Obviously, one of the looks was maybe a bit forced, but he had 2 good looks early on, and that's how you start 2 of 9. But it's defensively 7 of 10. It's the quality of look they've given up. The layup in underneath from Murray in transition. Herbert Harrigan left open on the 3-point line. They're the things that you've got to take away the key threats, and they've not done so early on.
And you can see 7 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from behind the arc. Not quite as quick a start as last week, but that would be pretty hard to replicate completely. And there's some assists. London Lions 6 assists.
And that assist to turnover ratio is always one thing you look at as a head coach. It's not necessarily the number of each individual, it's what is the ratio. You always want it to be positive, but the 0 turnover, 6 assists is something that's really going to be pleasing to Stella and the Lions staff early, that they're not turning the ball over, because that allows a team like Oaklands to get out in transition, really pushes where they're happiest, and forcing them to play in the half court is definitely what they want to do coming in.
36 assists last week in the demolition of Cardiff Met Archers. Even though the Met Archers did better in the second half, it was just too late, and that's what Oakland's Wolves don't want to happen here, is to start playing really well once the lead's too big. And they've put on a bit of a trap there, 3/4 court trap, Lions. Again, shot clock under 10, and they're still outside the 3-point line, really closing George down. They need to move the ball quicker. 1 second, it's going up and long, and good rebound by Winterburn. Good fight by Oaklands, but they get it away. And here comes Harrigan to Murray, pulls up, elbow shot is no good. Harrigan with the tip offensive rebound, and Winterburn will have another look. And off 1 foot, but she almost lures the defence there, Mike, into fouling her.
Yeah, it's so patient, it's so thoughtful in what Holly Winterburn does time and time again. This time, kind of saw Lewis Gale coming over and just slowed her steps down, and that's what initiated the contact, and then nearly got it to go as well.
Yeah, Kyla Nelson alluded to it yesterday in the BBL comms at Scorchers, which, just touching briefly on the men's game, and that was one heck of a win against Caledonia Gladiators, who are up next against the men's team, but she referred to a quick step followed by a slow step to just get the defence completely off their rhythm.
Yeah, and that's what you saw with Winterburn there. Also frustrated she couldn't get the first to go. It's a rare miss from Winterburn, shooting over 80% at the line this year.
She's been superb. More pressure from the Lions, and I think that's a good idea. Keep things switching up. Daisy Porter, one of the academy players, in. Leo Lewis Gale with a bit of a rush shot and missed everything.
Yeah, and that's the inexperience. That's contested mid-range jump shot, mid-shot clock is not what you want, but this is what Oaklands do. They're trying to develop the younger players, give them experience. We've seen people come through the system, people like Beth Sarson, Lizzie Harris and Laura Milligan. There's so many that have come through that pathway, have done a good job, and by getting experience early is what they need.
And Sensina is just a joy to watch when she lets that 3-pointer go.
Yeah, another lethal shooter. What she does best, shooting 38% from 3, and just again pure by Oaklands not to recognise where the shooter was on the floor.
Grace George again, she's going to have to do it herself. 3-8-point up, and she knocks it down.
Yeah, beautiful. I'll give her some confidence. Was the leading scorer for Oaklands going in at Christmas. Has slowed down a little bit since, but she can get it going. That'll be big as Vorpal often. Oakland's got a chance to go in transition, but as a really smart take foul by Vorpal, just to slow the transition up without it being unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, good play. Good play by Oakland's Wolves, and Vorpal just slowing it down and making sure that she got hand on the ball so she didn't commit the...
Yeah, and again, the first foul, but it's the way she took it is by making sure you're in front. If you're in transition now, if you're from the side or behind, it's unsportsmanlike, but being in front allowed it just to be a clean play. George
attacks, pulls up, and just off. Good defence from Battle. Here comes the Lions in transition.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Beckford Norton couldn't quite gather it.
Not sure, carry, double dribble, travel, take your pick, but certainly not legal. But a lovely pass, and it's unfortunately for Shanice Beckford Norton, she didn't quite get the handle of it first time, and again we alluded to it. We're 6 minutes in, and that's the first time of the game by either teams. Oakland's, give them credit, they've done a terrific job, even with the younger group in, of looking after the ball.
Really good pass out by Lewis Gale. That's the sort of play I think they need to do, is get the ball inside and then kick it out.
Yeah, for sure, and you'll take it. Grace George just made one a minute ago from the top, getting her the open look from three as from the wing this time. Doesn't quite go, but Oakland's are starting to grow into this game, starting to feel confident. They're not going to worry as much about the scoreboard. It's about an opportunity to learn and grow. And if you're in the game in the fourth, then things can change, but they're going to keep using this opportunity to learn like they've done the last couple of weeks, because they've had a tough run with Sheffield, Leicester and now London.
It doesn't get much tougher. Shaquila Joseph, GB International, Ian Sensina, one of the top shooters in Europe, and Beckford Norton just unopposed with the wraparound layup.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful cut off the weak side. I realised the defence is collapsing. I just saw a sprint in from the baseline, see what happens, and good patience by Joseph on the dish.
And Grace George with the 2 and 1, and that's what she can do. She can knock down the 3, and if the lane opens up, she attack.
Yeah, and again, you can see this Oaklands team, there's certain matchups they really like. Joseph there, always on the hip, and yeah, definitely a clear foul, but 3 or 4 times, we've seen it earlier from Sarson, they're trying to exploit some of these wings off the dribble with a little bit more foot speed, and good planning, and this time George able to convert.
And a free throw made for Grace George. And just to remind viewers, the first game of the season at Oaklands Wolves, 23 points the Wolves scored. It's not going to be like that today, and that's unfortunate for Gould. They've got a lot more firepower, and whistle. Not a foul on Cassidy Gould.
Yeah, it's going to have to be unsportsmanlike if they're going to call it, because it's exactly what it talked about with Vopal in transition. She got in front, Gould from behind, but I'm not sure there was a lot of contact on that one. That's kind of one that didn't affect the ball handle either. So it's normally one you'd see the referees let go, but Ian Green deciding there was enough contact to call the unsportsmanlike.
Just a bit of a frustration foul, I guess. Mike there, she'd missed an easy layup for her in her world, and she's just hustling back and makes contact. So Volpal knocks down the free throw, keeps it comfortable at the moment for the Lions. And as we said at the top of the show, Leicester Riders have played a couple of more games, but they are top of the league with the win against Sevenoaks Suns yesterday. Volpal. Battle. Good spacing from the Lions. Inside it goes to Joseph, up against Sarsons. She can't get it to go. She had a good look. Here comes Gould, pushing, using Joseph as a screen, but she's thwarted there. Poulter steps through, back outside, and again 10 seconds on the shot clock. Oakland's Wolves are going to have to look for an option. Here comes Gould, eyes up, and gets her own offensive rebound, and it stays with Oakland's Wolves. Great effort by Cassidy Gould.
Yeah, and it's that relentless effort. Nearly got the tip in to go, but Gould, a really good offensive rebounder for what is a natural point guard. She's coming in averaging over 3 offensive rebounds a game, so it's something that's in her DNA to be aggressive on the glass.
Sarsons goes baseline, back outside. Extra pass, and they're going to get an open look here, and they knock it down, and Tor Freeman will be really happy with the ball movement there.
Yeah, it's a terrific play. You thought Lewis Gale was going to fire it up, but she designed an extra pass, defense rotated, and then the extra one again from Porter just to see Gould open. You see defense completely lopsided, and Cassidy Gould able to make it. Gould, as I said earlier, struggling on the season from 3, but went 3 of 5 all early against the Leicester Riders. She's got that confidence going, and Oakland's only a couple of missed layups away from keeping this relatively close. 11's still a little bit far back, but if you score those 2 layups in transition that you missed, that's a 6-7 point game, and they'll be really happy with how they started after that initial Lions run.
Yeah, it's a good effort, and Lions will know that this trio plus Sarsons can really go off. There's the 3-pointers, 3 of 5 Lions, 2 of 6 Wolves. Points in the paint, 10 versus 6, and of course Lions are posting it up in the paint, plus the Beckford Norton layup and the Taylor Murray on the miscommunication, but Oakland Wolves are getting into the paint too.
Yeah, and that's pleasing. That's a bit aggressive off the dribble, and also you've got to kind of include that foul shot by George as well when she got the and-1. That's almost a paint point in a slightly different way with the 3-point play. So yeah, Oakland's have really stepped up, and the juniors have come in and not looked completely out of place, which will be encouraging, because in this environment it could be easy to do. Yeah,
and I think in this Cassidy Gould, 5 points already, and she's coming off a huge game. It's a heartbreaking overtime loss, and as Torf Freeman said pre-game, they were a little bit upset they didn't win the game, and that's great that he's able to talk like that coming into a massive challenge that they've got here today. Winterburn finds herself open, defence collapses, ball's loose, here comes Beth Sarsons, and blocked, but look at Cassidy Gould, and she gets it to go, and great hustle by Oakland's Wolves.
Yeah, sloppy turnover by Lions, but Oakland's, that's where they're at their best offensively. It's getting out in transition, going early, and Gould again, hand in the passing lane, and Sarson really unlucky to get called for the foul, but the energy is really starting to come over from Oakland's, and Lions have got to step it up another gear, because right now Oakland's are outworking them.
Yeah, and that will not please Stella at all, Coach Stella, if Oakland's Wolves are playing with more energy and hustle, and Vorpal just getting away with that double team. It didn't look much, but referee was right on top.
Yeah, and Sarson a little bit unlucky, and Lions again another uncharacteristic from the free throw, but yeah, is that energy that I'm sure Lions will find, but sometimes these games you go in knowing you're expected to win, and fairly comfortably if you look at the league table, that sometimes you're just not quite there, but hopefully they can step it up.
Shaquila Joseph inside, step through, and travel called. Just moving that pivot foot. Oakland's Wolves just doing enough to get Shaquila Joseph out of rhythm. So here comes Jan Akpan.
Yeah, it's terrific post defense to stay up. Didn't give Shaquila an angle to get to the basket, and then she was going to come back middle and then realised it wasn't there, and that's where the back foot slid, and it's the Lions' third turnover. Oakland's obviously still without a turnover. It's a terrific job as Georgia Smith still scoreless.
Yeah, she had 12 points against the Riders Wednesday, but she did a lot of other stuff, rebounds and assists. 5 rebounds, 5 assists, good ball movement, good defence by Akpan there, and out of bounds, really good job. And I think that's what the academy players have to do. There's 4 on the court at the moment, along with Georgia, and I think they just got to do the little things. They don't have to score as such if they can play good D, make those extra passes, and they've got enough firepower with Sarsons and George, Gould and Smith.
Yeah, and it looked like they're in a bit of a zone there, so just trying to throw Lions out of rhythm a little bit perhaps, and yeah, Vorpal on the baseline, but Lions out in this press. Just trying to slow it up, but Oakland's a really good opportunity here. If you can go score, stop, score now with the 2-for-1 into the break, suddenly this is going to be like a 4 or 5 point game, and from being down 12-13 early and looking like it could potentially be a blowout, they've really impressed.
This is big moments with 4 young players, 4 under-19s on the floor, plus Georgia Smith. And Holly read that way too easily, and that's not what they wanted. They've got to be really careful. They've got to switch on to another level.
Yeah, and this pressure causing problems, just about get it over, but hands into Joseph, and now Lions have got this momentum rolling.
2-pointer up is off the back ball. Good rebound by Akpan. Every pass has got to be, they've got to be really careful, and they're just throwing it away again. And it's a little bit manic.
Lions will use the clock.
And Winterburn called for a travel, and Coach Kaltsidou cannot believe that. Questioning the ref.
Nor can Holly.
No, I didn't see much there.
I think it's the way she gathered it, but normally with the 0-step rule you can normally get away with it, but maybe just a little hop or something before it, but it's hard to tell here. And Oakland's, with that pressure, decides, you know what, we're not going to try and push it, we'll just take the end of the quarter, because that last minute, just as they're looking to get back into it, that press from Lions really threw Oakland's off. Great decision by the coaching staff of Lions. As soon as they saw Oakland's went really young, Gould off, Sarson off, that's the moment to go to the press.
Yeah, and that was very brave by Tor. Maybe he's happier doing it now. They can recover from that. But those academy players have just got to learn. They would have run through press breaks in practice, and they've just got to back themselves and be as confident as they can.
Yeah, but again, this is the difference. Press break at under 19 level compared to a press break when you've got 6'2", 6'1", 6'3" on the court is always a different level. I'm sure now that's what we'll be going over, because it's those little adjustments, and if you can solve that, there's a way back into this game for the Oakland Wolves based off the last 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, sure. And when they've got the right rotations in, they can cause a lot. They can cause a lot of problems. There's the stats: 2-pointers, 3-pointers, and free throws. Mike, what's your thoughts on those?
I think it's that obviously the Lions 3-point shooting 3 of 5, 2 good looks. That's always the percentage you want, but Oakland's having more attempts than London from the 2, which is something you probably didn't expect coming in because of the amount of volume of shots Oakland's normally get from the perimeter. But yeah, there's a lot to build on, and obviously those turnovers for Lions mounting up 5, and Oakland's did such a good job looking after the ball early, but all 3 of those turnovers in the last 90 seconds just really killed that momentum.
Just the one assist from Oakland Wolves, but it was one heck of an assist. Well, it's like a team assist where they moved the ball around the outside and got the wide open shot. They need more of that, don't they, Mike?
There is, but also again, that's something you'll put in a video room on Monday, Tuesday, and go, this is what we're capable of consistently. And this Oaklands team aren't out of the playoff race.
No.
You feel sometimes you look at record and go 3 wins at this stage, but there's so many teams with 4 or 5 wins in the league that if you can get a little bit of momentum going, and now you've played arguably 3 of the toughest teams in the league back to back to back, the schedule's going to lighten up in terms of strength, and you can maybe go on a run.
Yeah, well, that's certainly be what Tor Freeman wants to do. He's got Lee Ryan alongside him today as well. Who's the head coach of the men's side of the academy at Oakland Wolves. And Sansina gets baseline and a foul. They've got Grace George back in for Oakland's Wolves, but again, just you can see it from up here perfectly. Sansina just ghosting in on the baseline.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Lewis Gale, that's her 3rd foul, so she's going to have to sit down early on in the 2nd quarter, and probably done till half time. It's unlikely she'll be risked on those 3 fouls, so an extended period on the bench.
And Sansina knocking the free throw down.
Kind of feel like my stats are wrong. Sansina, the first time all year she's been to line for 2 shots. Her only ever free throw in the league was an and 1, which kind of feels off, but able to convert both as Taylor Moe doing what she does best.
Yeah, just coming in behind Grace George. And you feel Lions have got a couple of extra gears to go up. Wolves have got to be really careful here. Grace George, a lot of dribbling. Where's she going to go? Into the corner. Porter throws it up left-handed, can't get it to go. That was really tough. And ball stays with the London Lions.
Yeah, Porter did well to get it off. Realised she had to fade to avoid the shot being blocked, and she nearly got it to go, but again, just that length of the Lions really causing issues.
And shots up, and Harrigan, just as casual as you like, just knocks down the baseline jump shot.
Yeah, and it so shooting over Porter's so easy, and again, Lions off to a quick start, 6-0 run plus the scoring to end the quarter, so an extended run, and Oakland's need a bucket to really pull themselves back into this game.
And she's going to get a wide open look now. Grace George just off the front of the rim. She thought she was being fouled there. Ball's loose, and Georgia Smith couldn't get that, and Winterburn left hand layup misses, and foul against Daisy Porter. And things getting tougher and tougher now for the Oakland Wolves.
Yeah, and I thought Porter did a fairly good job. She got her feet set, but she's inside the charge circle, so it makes it fairly easier, just moving to her right, but she did a pretty good job of trying to get in front of Winterburn and make it difficult, but Holly will have a chance for free throws, and that's where Lions have started to now consistently be at. It's attempts 10 and 11 coming up, and that's always a good way to keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Yeah, they're 6 of 10 from the line. It's uncharacteristic misses, but they're getting getting more and more to the free throw line. Winterburn just splashes those two. Substitution, Sarson back in. Daisy Porter out. But you're right, Daisy Porter was really brave there. And that's where Tor's got to be happy with that effort.
Yeah, and again, but the problem with the free throws is this lets Lions set up the press that Oaklands will struggle with. So with more experienced group, it's a good execution this time.
Murray coming in from behind again, but this time committing the foul.
And yeah, you see that experience from that group, just knowing where to be, where the gaps were in the zone pressure to break it a little bit easier than some of the younger players, and hopefully they're taking that in on the bench, or when they get next time they're in, they're able to execute at a higher level.
Smith with a fake, really nice play, and she gets it to go. And Georgia Smith, another one that can explode offensively.
Yeah, I say first basket of the game to Smith, but yeah, on a day she can go for 30 very easily.
Wow, big time move from Azania Stewart, and she might have an issue with her contacts. Or
Azania, you don't need to see. Come on,
you know where the hoop is. It's up there.
Yeah,
it's up there somewhere. Smiles from Azania. But what a super move! Spun baseline, and just her wingspan allows her to get to the other side of the hoop.
Yeah, and again, it's a matchup she's going to enjoy all day long, is having a little bit more size, a little bit more length, and the experience to work out what the defence is allowing her to do and capitalising on it.
Osi's going to go to the basket, and she's fouled by Herbert Harrigan. Kiki's not too impressed with that, but I think it was a foul.
Yeah, a little bit fortunate how the ball got to her side, but she made the right decision. She just took that half a second to hesitate as we see the foul. It's definitely a swipe by Kiki that doesn't get the ball. But that hesitation to just assess the option, it was a 3-on-2, and the lane opened up and it was the right move, so that's really encouraging.
36-17 in the lead, 7 minutes 57 on the clock.
I think it's timeout Tor Freeman, I believe.
Timeout here at the Copper Box. Really nice crowd in here, the first of a double-header. London Lions men, who are riding high at the top of the BBL play. Caledonia Gladiators at 4 o'clock today. Here's some more stats for you. 5 steals for Lions, brought about by their press, and points from turnovers for Oakland Wolves, just with the 1 steal and 2 points from turnovers. But it's good that Coach Kaltsidou can just say to this team, right, press on, trap on, and they're going to get immediate results.
Yeah, for sure, and I think the key thing is you see 5 steals, but you see 5 turnovers for Oaklands. So that means everything's been live ball, and that allows Lions to get out in transition, and obviously Holly dominating the stats early on across all categories, but it's that live ball, go push, get the easy basket in transition, where some of the Lions have been dead, and now you're having to go against a half-court defence.
Yeah. Holly Winterburn, just a young leader of this Lions team, looking pretty relaxed. They're in control, but Oakland's Wolves at the free throw line.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Oakland, Osai is probably not the one you want at the line. She's 0 of 7 now on the season from there. So again, another thing for a youngster to focus on. Probably over the summer, it's a lot of time where you can get back in and get some reps up. But in season, you never want to make too much. And in fact, she goes to Jeremy Sohan, one-handed layup. Free throw, that off to the right. But obviously a little bit of a tape study. As obviously Sohan's been a big one. That's free throw percentage has rocketed up in the NBA with the one-handed look.
Encina with the two-handed shot. Great hustle by both players. Ball's loose, and I say with the loose ball. But again, I just think it's really dangerous for Grace Jules to try and dribble out when Murray's anywhere near her.
Yeah, coaches always go to against the press break is move the ball.
Yeah.
And pass it up, as this time Smith brings it over fairly easily. But yeah, if you can get the ball moving and find the gaps with the pass, it's a lot easier.
Grace George. 5 seconds again, and pass, a little bit of a panic pass from Grace as the time was running down. They've got to keep their heads up here. They knew it was going to be tough. They've just got to take it as the ultimate challenge.
Yeah, and that was disappointing because actually Georgia Smith worked herself open and Georgia just kind of passed it where she was, not where she was moving to. And you can see that the turnovers racking up in the Oaklands. Obviously the 3 to end the first quarter and then now 3 early on in the second.
Herbert Harrigan just playing in second gear. I think second, third gear, finishes that using her length to get to the hoop. Sarsens against Cincina. Again, a lot of size there to go up against. Gould spins, left hand finish is good, and the Davison alumni is just showing some moves there, almost Steph Curry-like with that attack.
Really pretty move, spin past Winterburn, just beat her all ends up.
Harrigan is she's just playing at her own pace, not being rushed, and she's unstoppable.
Yeah, and that's the experience. She knows what she can get away with, so why rush when I've got the extra half second? I'll still get the same look.
Cassidy Gould just can't get it to go, but again, really aggressive attack downhill towards the hoop.
Yeah, and for all the world, it looked like it was going to roll in. That was probably cleaner than the Zania's free throw that hit the top of the backboarders. Again, another big swipe by Herbert Harrigan, and that's in a way lucky, because if that hits the head or neck, that's going to be called unsportsmanlike with that wind up. You can see what she's trying to do, but you've got to be really careful in those situations, and that's the second quick foul on Kiki.
Yeah, and I think because of the nature of the shot being underhanded, that Herbert Harrigan had to swipe down. As we know, she's an amazing shot blocker, and we want her to be blocking the shots much higher up in the arc of the shot. There's Coach Tor Freeman organising his troops, his young team. But we do hope, for the British players' sake that are coming through the academy, that they're really going to enjoy this experience. It's going to be chastening at times, but enjoy from it and learn from it.
For sure, and obviously a big crowd in as well always helps.
Yeah, Vorpal offensive rebound as Zania, but throws it out of bounds as she was trying to find Kiki Harrigan.
Sideline for the Wolves.
Yeah, and Oaklands, to be fair, credit to them, obviously big size disadvantage, but matched Lions right now on offensive rebounds, 3 apiece, so they've done a good job cleaning up the glass, and that's another thing that Lions were great at last week. The few misses they had, it always felt like they were contesting for that offensive rebound.
Georgia Smith having to step a long way out, screen from Usse, closely guarded. They've got to move the ball. They're not going to be able to dribble through this London Lions team ever. Still guarded, shots up, off, contested, and Kiki Herbert Harrigan couldn't control that, and she feels she was pushed, and the referee saying no. So good hustle from Oakland's Wolves.
Yeah, and we'll have a look on the replay, see if she was unlucky here. It's just that's a clean contest. I mean, you can't do any better than that, and Kiki just couldn't get the second hand to the ball.
Smith, shots up off the glass, just long for Osse. And here comes Vorpal. They're trying to really push the pace now, Lions. Azania Stewart baseline, kicks it out, tap pass, extra pass into the corner. That was pretty, ball's loose. Here comes Eva Karasati to Beth Sarsens, and Vorpal again slowing down the Oaklands Wolves.
They're going to go sideline ball, saying Vorpal was just about enough in front, but that one wasn't going to go down as a Shanice Beckford Norton assist if we'd made it, but that tap pass was so beautiful. Realising it didn't have time to get the ball in your hand and swing it, just immediately I can get it there, and that's the quality of this Lions team, to recognise those little situations where you can take an advantage, because at the next level up, which is obviously where they're trying to get to a EuroLeague qualifiers, that's going to make all the difference.
And that's what they're looking at. Eurocup this season, got to the round of 32, lost to Villeneuve over 2 legs, having beaten them here, and offensive foul. Cassidy Gould offers a hand, and Shanice decides not to take it.
Yeah, and I think
a little bit chippy.
I think Oaklands were looking for the reach in on the screen. Like you could see, trying to reach in and break it up, but the handoff, you've always got to get your feet set on it. It's so difficult for a ball handler because you're dribbling at speed, but again, you've got to stop if you're setting that screen. As another offensive foul.
There's offensive foul here.
Looks like they called it on Battle, so I think just trying to roll too early, defender going under, and that's that freedom of movement they're trying to give to defenders this year to allow them to play a little bit closer to the ball.
Well, Oaklands Wolves will take any calls they can. Halfway through the second, it's WBBL action at the copper box. Eva's going to get a pocket picked. 2-on-1. And that's an interesting 2-on-1 option, but it works. Tight battle with the score.
Yeah, and alley-oops, you don't see him too much, but the crowd loved it in good composure by battle to finish.
Yeah. And that gets the crowd on their feet. Shouts at defense. Unbelievable move. That's the second one she's done. This time she's going to the line, Mike.
I don't know how she got that off. We had a great view of it from our angle here, right in front of us, and it looked for all the world like it was just going to go into the hands of Beckford Norman. She managed to get it up and over at and got the friendly roll. So great finish by Sarson, and
smiles on the face of her teammates. But this is what they've got to do. They've got to make some play some tough D, but at the end of the day they're going to have to make some unreal offensive plays.
Yeah, and you can see the smile on Beth Sarson's face. She doesn't know how she got it in, but she'll take it all day long. And obviously that experience she's got, obviously a long time Oaklands Wolves coming back from the Riders, she's a big help for this group going forward.
Well, she's hit the ground running, hasn't she, Mike? And she knows the play, she knows the players, and she knows the coaches. Beckford Norton, great D from Grace George, who was upright and
called for the blocking foul.
But moving, feet moving.
Yeah, so I think I initially had the same thought as you, Graham. I thought she was great defence, but referees really tightening up in this second quarter, like not letting anything go at all, and that's why both teams now in the penalty with still 4:25 left.
Holly Winterburn, they can't leave her open at all. Great pass, and Shaquila Joseph in and out, super pass by Winterburn. Here comes Cassidy, and I love her tenacity, her energy, just never stops pushing.
And this is where the team fouls rack up now. Cassidy Gould to the line all of a sudden for a foul, and another chance to get it going again. Similar pattern to the first quarter. Lions came out early, good 3-4 minutes to open, and now after that Oakland's just settling again and starting to just put their foot in the game and say we can at least compete.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for Tor Freeman and this roster. And well, there's no doubt Cassidy Gould can compete against any of the teams in this league. Still a very young player. As I said earlier, out of Davison, so great credentials coming out of US College. Winterburn behind the back, that was almost out of bounds. Vorpal short, and Cassidy Gould with another rebound and the spin dribble out. Sarson's to her left. Sarson's attacks, back outside. Grace George attacks. Grace George can't get it to go. Good offensive rebound. Grace George misses, and frustrated. I don't think there was a foul there though.
No, but almost the wrong option on the 3-on-1. They didn't. Mendes was wide open on the dish. She would have got a layup, but Oakland's happy to push.
Holly thought about the three there, I think, but she gets closer to the hoop. Beautiful pass, and just the way her mind works is really impressive. Holly Winterburn with the assist.
Yeah, no, but also it's the recognition of Holly, but it's also the cuts. The off-ball movement is terrific by Lions and really allows Winterburn to distribute.
Penetrate, pass. Sarson can't get that to go. Really good defence from Beckford Norton. Ball's loose, they've got to dive on that. Sarson gets there first. Looks up, heads up. Throws it to Cassidy Gould, who rips through. And called for a travel. That's 2 shots.
Yeah, it was. She got Beckford Norton on the fake. And then the referee was going to call foul on the basket. So you see here on that fake and there's the foul committed, and then she pauses, so it wouldn't have been an one continuation, but really savvy move. Shanice is athletic, she's going to try and block that shot and just freeze her on the fake, and Cassidy Gould's been really impressive. It doesn't necessarily, she has 13 points, but it's the little things she's done, the rebounds, being able to get the team going in transition with the spin moves and stuff that doesn't necessarily always show up on the stat sheet, and definitely a positive that Oaklands will take into the locker room at half time.
Yeah, I think in long spells they've competed. Missed free throw there from Gould. And that's just too easy.
Yeah, and Smith decided to gamble on the 3-on-2, try and take something away, but Battle able to have that recognition to decide, actually, I see you're going to gamble on the 3, I'll take the layup.
Yeah, good job again, the sideline trap at the halfway line. And the 3-point shot there just taken by Miriam Carrasco-Mendes. She has made some big shots at the EABL level over her time at Oaklands Wolves. She had her feet set, just got to shoot that with confidence. Beckford Norton, here comes Winterburn, gets her feet set, that's off right. Ball's loose momentarily behind the back. Under a lot of attention, ball's deflected, and that's a dangerous cross-court pass. Here comes Winterburn, hands off Vorpal, set, and knocks it down.
Yeah, and you can see Gould trying to do the right thing, but those cross-court passes always risky, and this time the recognition on the Lions' weak side to see the ball come over, jump in the passing lane, and Lions able to do what they do best, which is points in transition.
Winterburn, 10 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, shots up for Grace George, and there's no foul, it was just a tough move. Here comes Vorpal, and gets it to go, and they're playing downhill now, London Lions, mate.
Yeah, it's that transition, that 8 seconds or less offense, and really difficult to guard. So Lions closing out the quarter strongly and just not letting Oaklands carry that momentum over that they had got temporarily at least.
Smith, all stuck just for a moment. Goes left hand layup. That's a really good move. She set up Vorpal really well there.
Yeah, and it's not something you necessarily always see from Georgia Smith. She's more of the catch and shoot, off the dribble 3, but able to just get Vorpal on the hip again and then finish well with the left hand.
Battle, good job by Cleo. Here comes Cassidy Gould. We're into the last minute. And almost stolen by Beckford Norton, who's hustling around, buzzing around like a bee. Grace George, again, a lot of dribble. It's coming back out again, 10 seconds on the shot clock. They've got to move without the ball, otherwise they're going to have some trouble, and they've had trouble. Winterburn, 3-on-1. Oh, just sensational pass. Vorpal with a good catch.
Yeah, fake left, pass right, and defense, it's impossible to do. 2-on-1s are difficult, 3-on-1 you can't do anything, but the quality of Holly just to ensure it's a wide open look, and lines up to 20 fast break points in the opening half.
Ball's off for Georgia, and foul. And still chippy.
Yeah, I didn't quite see what happened. I went to look away because signaling 2 shots, but I wouldn't be surprised to say I think there could be a technical involved.
It's a foul.
Let's have a look on the replays. Did Shaquila throw the ball? That's my guess, but because it's a definite foul by Georgia Smith, which is dumb because you're in the penalty.
Yeah.
Indeed, Joseph just throws the ball at him. That's the right call.
Yeah. There has been some chippy moments in this game because I think Lions feel with the way they've been playing, they should be putting this Oakland Wolves team away, but Oakland's just won't go away completely.
No, and credit to the juniors, they're not backing down at all. Obviously Smith involved in that play, but we also saw that last night in Leicester. Katie Cox got ejected, another youngster just willing to put her body on line, be aggressive, be physical and not back down, but it's those fast break points. That's the disparity. It's only a 25-point game, but when fast break points are 20-0, and this is an Oakland team that like to play in transition, you've got to credit Lions' transition defense to what they've done and really made life difficult for Oaklands.
As we look at some of the stats, again, Winterburn involved, Vorpal with the 3. Vorpal's been a really good inclusion with Kennedy Leonard not here now. Vorpal has grown into her role. The way you see her play, she's pushed the ball, tenacious on defence, but now she's starting to knock down some shots and benefiting from the likes of Winterburn's assist. It's good things happening there for Lions.
And that's the difference between Kennedy Leonard and Vorpal. Like, they're both very good players, but Vorpal plays in the same similar mould to Murray, so there's less kind of changes for the way the roster has to play because they can both shoot the 3, both defensive minded as well, so they're very similar, and it means Lions don't have to change the style as much.
And as we look at Tor Freeman, and it's got to be happy with the majority of what's happened so far.
Yeah, they've definitely had moments where they've looked like we can compete at this level, but then it's those little mistakes, and that's where Lions just punish you. Every mistake you make, this Lions team able to just capitalise on it, and obviously with the technical foul, on Joseph. It'll be Oaklands to line for 1, and then Lions will go down the other end of the floor, and Joseph will shoot 2, except she's not on the floor.
The foul was called, a regular foul call.
Yeah, Joseph's now going to have to come on to shoot the, and then there'll be a provision on the shooter, I guess.
Yes, that's what I expect will happen. I'm sure our lovely stats team will love that one, because that's a confusing one to sub on, because you're initially just subbing everyone that comes on court, and then but the teamwork on the table and from the referees to realise Joseph needs to shoot the free throws.
Yeah, Tony there leading the stats, working with the young assistant, been doing the stats for top level basketball for so many years. And he's a font of knowledge, and now he's mentoring these young people coming through to do the stats.
I mean, and they've got Cara down there today, who's definitely one of our more experienced games. Personally, when I do stats, Cara's one of the best we have in the league for spotting and recognition of the games. It's a really good crew down there, but they are doing a good job bringing through other statisticians. We've had a few rotate through last week of training, and both Tony and Cara actually tutors on the course to bring through some of the up and coming statisticians.
It's so important that we get everything right off the court as well as on the court. Good break on the press. Time running down and sideline, and Daisy Porter will go to the line for 2 shots.
Yeah, Battle just a little bit late on the rotation to cut off, but terrific press break by Oaklands to get it over, created 2-on-1, and you can see here just Battle moving to the right, and she was going to look for Lewis Gale, who was open, but instead earned herself to the line. And again, Oaklands will be happy. This free throw attempts 12 and 13, so they've done a good job, because Lions team's normally really well disciplined, doesn't foul too often, but 11 fouls for Lions for 13 free throws is again another encouraging thing that Tor Freeman Lee Ryan will take into the locker room.
Just long, but great big rebound from Grace George. Kicks it out, and a better shot up there from Lewis Gale. So good finish with the offensive rebound and the shot attempt for Oakland Wolves. But we're here at half time, and London Lions ahead, but it's not been comfortable the whole way, Mike.
No, it's kind of been that middle spell of each quarter where Oakland have really put their foot on it, and then Lions early in the quarter and the end of the quarters where they've dominated, but again it doesn't quite have that feel of a 25-point game. It's been a little bit more competitive than that, but Holly Winterburn's got her feet all over this. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. We are on triple-double watch.
Yeah, I think so. And Gould, George and Wright 13, 6 and 5. I think that's should be Beth Sarson's.
Yes.
We'll just get that corrected. There's 55-30 at half time. Here's the shooting stats. 2, 3 and free throws, Mike.
Yeah, they're tied on free throws, great, and obviously Oakland's had a couple of good looks from 3 and just struggling to convert, but it's that 68% from 2 from Lions, which will be really pleasing, being able to use that length and size to get points in the paint as well.
Yep, well, we're at half time. It's a good one here. We're going to leave you with some half-time entertainment, starting with the top 10 plays.
Now Lions have numbers. 4-on-2 here. Shanice back for Norton. Goes all the way. Draws the foul. Gets the and one. And she'll go to the charity stripe.
Winterburn goes left. Underneath. Drop-off pass. And look at that from Taylor Murray. All-star 5, and that's all-star effort from London Lions 24, and a smile.
Come on, Gladiators. Lions fans. Bartek Lukasz, courtside, goes in. Oh my goodness! Kiki Harrigan said, no in mi casa. Get out of here. with a 5-point lead. Adams now heavily guarded here by Holly. Goes in. What a rejection! Holly said, not in my house. Take that one back to Scotland.
For attention. This is getting tough now for Gladiators. Hand is back in the game.
Harrigan now looking to post up here, trying to bully away to the basket. Goes up and gets one. And Kiki is just going to work.
Good protections. Just great touch. And she gets the steal off a deflection from Cincina and Beckford Norton. They're outrunning, outplaying. Murray. They've got time. Winterburn knocks it down from the corner. The smiles, the fist pump, and just fabulous transition play from London Lions.
Welcome to the British Basketball League. Teams up and down the country compete against each other to be crowned British Basketball League champions. We're here to break it down for you, so let's get to it. Each team can have 5 players on the court at any one time, but can sub players on and off throughout the match. Players can shoot for 2 points by attempting a shot from within the 3-point line, or go for 3 points by shooting outside the 3-point line. Free throws are worth 1 point each, and these are shot from the free throw line. Each basketball game is made up of 4 10-minute quarters and can never end in a draw. If the teams are equal on points at the final whistle, we go to overtime. Any fouls or violation of the rules results in possession of the ball being turned over to the opposing team. The attacking team has 24 seconds to take a shot, otherwise a shot clock violation will occur. Once the offensive team crosses the center court line, they cannot go back into their own half. Doing so will result in a backcourt violation. To move the ball around the court, players can pass or dribble. And if a player stops dribbling, they can't just start up again. Doing so would result in a double dribble violation. Traveling is another violation that could see your team turn over possession. This happens when players move with the ball but without dribbling. The only exceptions to this are pivoting with the ball upon possession or taking 2 steps after dribbling. Now lace up your sneakers, take to the court, or come join us in the crowd. This is the British Basketball League. Know our name.
I'm Holly Winterburn, I'm a shooting guard and I play for the London Lions. I think I've always had like an all-round style of game, but I think I've really learned last year to like refine each individual skill. Learning more details, learning how to really get open on offense when you're guarded, shoot the ball at a higher percentage, how you have to play defense at that next level. I'm still young, so I've got so many years left, but if I can just keep adding 1% every single year, then I'll be in a good place in a few years. I think my strengths offensively are being able to score in multiple ways, and that's something I worked on a lot over the summer. Being able to score off the dribble, off the cut, off the catch and shoot, just trying to affect the offense in every single way possible. I think I just work really well with people on my team like Kennedy and Kiki and Kat and Z. If the game's on the line and I've got the ball, I'm taking the shot every time. In terms of composure in the last second shot, I think you just got to remember that the basket's the exact same distance and there's still 10 players on the court than there is in the first quarter. So I think just playing every moment like it's the same and not really putting pressure on yourself in that moment. Obviously, you have to, if you need a 3 with 2 seconds left, it's a different type of shot. Make it as normal as possible. And also you've got your teammates around you that are supporting you and they believe in you. I know I'm still young, but my role now is to be the go-to person for whatever the team may need, whether that's points, whether that's leadership, whether that's rebound. Just embracing that role of I've got to be ready every single moment, every single day. No days off. Got to keep my attitude and my professionalism in check all the time. I think it's a really big challenge for me, but it's one that I'm so happy to have been given, and I'm just going to try and do my best in every moment and give back to the club what they're giving to me. I guess there's pressure in a sense to perform to the best that I can be, and I hold myself to a high standard, but I don't feel the pressure of other people. I think just keeping myself to a high standard and just making sure I do the right things and put the preparation and the reps in place, and I think I'll be fine. The pressure on the win streak's a funny one because obviously as a competitive person I want to keep it going for as long as possible. I don't want to lose a game ever. But if you look at the bigger picture, we want other teams to beat us because that means the level of British basketball is growing. If we lose because we played bad, then I'm going to be angry. But if we lose because the other team were better, then it shows we're going in the right direction. But I still don't see us losing this season.
I'm Kiki and I'm a forward for the London Lions. I attended the University of South Carolina. It was an incredible 4 years. Won a national championship my freshman year. Winning an NCAA championship so early in my college career gave me a lot of confidence because it showed me how much hard work and dedication it takes, to get to that winning level. I was fortunate to play with a lot of great players throughout my years at South Carolina, and the older players always showed me how to lead, so I feel like that's something that has helped me a lot during that championship run. My senior year, got drafted first round 6th pick to the WNBA, so overall my college experience is great. Being a first round draft pick, I feel like it is a lot of pressure, especially to start off your pro career, but I feel like as long as you're true to who you are and confident in yourself, you don't really pay attention to the pressure as much. My strengths on the court is I can shoot the ball very well, I can put the ball on the floor, love playing defense, and I feel like I'm a great shot blocker. So Mad Kiki came about my senior year in college. I guess I'm a really aggressive player on the court, especially when I block shots. That gets me very hyped, so you guys will definitely meet Mad Kiki this season. The women's game has evolved tremendously throughout my career. I'm seeing girls in middle school dunking now. Seeing stuff like that gives us a lot of hope for the future. My motivation and my drive comes from, I come from a very small island, moved to the United States when I was young, and just knowing that it's a lot of kids, especially back home, that look up to me and that hasn't had the opportunity, but just to let them know that no matter where you come from, you can still make it. I think it's very important for younger girls to have aspirational women role models in sports, just so they can know that, it's possible and to dream big and to keep working hard and your dreams can come true. Previously, within the last year, my motivation shifted a little bit more. I had a son a year ago. Not having, other little kids look up to me anymore. I have one of my own looking up to me. So, I feel like that's kind of shifted my motivation a little bit. Being a mom and being an athlete is very challenging at times, but if you have a bad day on the court or whatever it may be, and you go home and see your little one, I feel like that kind of just brightens up your day. I have a very great support system. So for me, it hasn't, it gets tough, but for me, it hasn't been too much, that I can't handle because I have a great support system behind me. I'm very excited to join a team that has this long, ongoing winning streak. I feel like we can add tremendously to that, so just to continue winning, I don't feel much pressure to that because I know the work that we put in. We're just looking forward to continuing that streak.
For too long, the old guard has held court. Their rules, their terms, their arena. But what happens when you take something from the streets and put it on display for the world to see? The tide starts to shift. It lets the old guard know exactly who's next and resets the stage for something new. This is street art, showing all season.
Well, welcome back to the Copper Box. It's WBBL action between the London Lions and the Oaklands Wolves. London Lions leading 55-30 at half-time. They're in control, Mike, but it hasn't all been plain sailing that first half.
No, Oaklands have had really good spells, and Cassidy Gould in particular, one of those that's had a strong half, 13.6 rebounds at the half, and she's carrying on that form that forced them to push Leicester Riders on Wednesday into overtime.
Yeah, and I think they've really taken that form into this game so they can believe that they can hang with the best team in the league. But London Lions, from their side, with being led by Holly Winterburn, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. And there's, just slipping back, there's Cassidy Gould, and she's leading this team. Points, 13, just the 2 turnovers and 6 rebounds, and really liked her energy, Mike, in this first half.
Yeah, and you look at it, no assists, but actually it doesn't feel like that. She's done so much for this team as well. But yeah, as you said, it's Holly Winterburn who's really dictating for Lions. It's as ever a team effort, but we are on triple-double watch with 10 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. As yeah, it's that team effort and that depth of Lions that really pulls through, and the Oakland Juniors have had some good moments, but just they've had the struggles as well.
Yeah, 9 of the Lions players scoring. I think everybody that's played, just Chantel Charles still to step on the court. But Holly Winterburn, 3 of 5 from the field, 10 points. There she is, smiling as she should do. But week in, week out, she delivers at a high level.
Yeah, and there's kind of the VT, they ran in the arena at half-time. It's trying to find more leadership, more role, and really trying to put her stamp on this team consistently.
Yeah, and we are back live here at the Copper Box. Hope you're enjoying the action. We're live on YouTube. Please do give us super pass. That was really nice by Grace George, giving it to her Australian counterpart.
Yeah, and a good start for Oaklands. Lions first and second quarter started with like 8 and 7-0 runs off the bat, so Oaklands get the first buckets big, but the one person you can't leave open from 15 foot.
Yeah, Harrigan there, knocking down the uncontested shot. She's up to 11 points, 5 of 6 from the field. They've got to move the ball quickly, Wolves. Shots up, and that's partially deflected. It's short. Cincina brings it away. Javelin pass, what a catch! And the foul by Osei.
Well, we normally describe it as a quarterback pass, but that was right pinpoint as Cincina was ahead, Murray ahead of the pack, just right in stride, and so I did a good job trying to get back, but Murray able to draw the contact with that experience, and she'll head to the line for the first time this afternoon.
Yeah, they've just got to have their heads in the game here, Oakland's Wolves, early. But we're live on YouTube, and please do keep your comments coming in, get on social media. And we want it to be interactive. We want you enjoying the coverage, and a good crowd here in the Copper Box, enjoying the action. And a great experience, as we alluded to first half, Mike, great experience for these young players. I think now they've had the first half, now they've really got to go for it. I'm talking about the academy players, Oakland's Wolves.
Yeah, of course, and they've definitely settled in. They've had some low moments. They've also had some very good positives. That ball movement at the end of the first quarter, probably the highlight that they talked about in the locker room, that this is what they're capable of. It's now reproducing that consistently.
Cassidy Gould all the way across to Beth Sarsons, who lets the shot go. A little bit flat, and Azania almost loses it. Cincina. Azania in motion, gives the pass to Murray. Double team. Cincina's open, Harrigan's open, and it's just that slow preparation to shoot it, and then it's splash.
Yeah, and it almost feels like, in a way, Kiki's had a quiet game. You look at the stats and suddenly it's 14 points, 6 of 7 from the floor, but she just does everything so under control.
Yeah, 14, 6 of 7, as you say, just sensational efficiency. Georgia Smith, time running down. They need some options. Gould gives it to them. It's going to have to go up. Shoots up and off, and they just can't get the open looks with this smothering defence from London Lions.
Yeah, it's that length, it's the wing, but Oakland's being passive. They had some success being aggressive. And I think foul there on the rebound again. Lions done a relatively good job on the glass, and it's called on Gould, and it'd be end-line ball, obviously, with Azania having collected that rebound. But again, it's that difference that Lions are fearless going to the rim, and that Oakland's just a little bit more passive and a little bit scared, maybe worried about shot blockers from the Lions.
That's 3 fouls now for Cassidy Gould.
As again, Lions have really changed the playbook a little bit with the coaching change. Obviously, Mark Clark leaving, Stella coming in, and the end line's been where they've good. We had the play in front of us last week, if you remember that triple screen with Winterburn getting the 3 and similar type of thing. So see if they can execute once again off the end line.
Same again, and doesn't get it to go, but she's first there for that offensive rebound effort, and that's where Oakland's Wolves have got to step it up. They can't let Winterburn take a 3, misses it, and then gets to the offensive rebound.
Yeah, terrific look, and just maybe commentators curse on the 3-point instead of it, but another great look, and now Herbert Harrigan with a great mismatch.
That's wow, that is really strong, and nothing Oakland's Wolves could do about that.
No, a sigh on Herbert Harrigan is not a matchup the Oakland's Wolves coaching staff will really want, but Lions definitely come out with another gear that we didn't see in the first half.
Grace George, good resilience there, and perseverance, gets the short 2-pointer to go.
Yeah, and that's the experience of maybe some players are fearless, but Grace George doesn't matter. She knows she's got some length, and able to take the contact, then reset her feet.
Nice pass from Azania Stewart. That is beautiful. Goes baseline, nice little bounce pass.
Yeah, and again, not everything you normally see. 6'4", you don't normally think about them as great passers, but Azania really crafty, saw the cut of Murray, and Lions again off-ball movements, just that next level.
Yeah, and the defence is really stepping up. 3-on-2, Winterburn, and that ended up being a tough pass, and it's out of bounds, and Oakland's Wolves ball.
Yeah, and Lions have been probably the one criticism that maybe talked about in the locker room at halftime was a little bit sloppy with the ball. Double-digit turnovers in the first half, something we rarely see, but that time was the length of Grace George able to really deflect that pass. Winterburn realised she was going to get blocked and had to try and find a second option.
And Daisy turns it over. Sincina, left-hand layup. Great protection of the ball, and we'll head to the line for a bonus shot.
Yeah, this time just fearless again, taking the shot blocker on by creating that contact. Just a little reach down with that right hand onto the arm of Sincina, and she's able to finish through the contact, and we'll go to line for the bonus.
Of course, Sincina, 6 foot plus, again, not going to have a major issue with Grace George coming over, but such good fundamentals. Any young player watching, that's why you go with your left hand from the left hand side.
Yeah, and even at the high level, those little things matter, because sometimes you do have shot blockers and things to work through. And again, Lions continuing to dominate the fast break points. It was 20-0 at half time, and now another 4 on top of that in the second half.
Grace George and Azania coming out, gets a deflection, and look at Stewart sprint down the floor. Are they going to be able to use that? Nice screen on the outside to free up Sincina, but good recovery from Grace George. Let's look at this matchup. Azania can't get it to go. George with the rebound, outlet to Daisy Porter. To Beth Sarsons, and another underhand attempt. She's heading to the line for 2.
Yeah, and Beth Sarson's really been challenged to be crafty around the rim today, trying to find little ways to get it go. We saw both and ones in the first half. She finished terrifically, and that time just again a slightly different finish. Couldn't quite get the roll that time, but a really good adjustment by Sarson.
And I guess if she makes a traditional layup, but Winterburn's going to block that.
Yeah, that's going into the media section. There's no two ways about that. But that's the experience of Beth Sarson. I think some of the 3-on-3s probably helped with that as well. She did a good job at her team at ball out finals this year. Made her run all the way to the finals. She had the team full of guards, but they knocked off a team including Shaquilla Joseph in one of the games. But it's that finding different ways to finish and being crafty and able to convert at the line.
Yeah, she's really coming on strong. It's her third game back in an Oakland Wolves uniform. And she's reliable, she's strong, and got experience. Stewart's out, Shaquilla Joseph in. And now a bit of pressure put on by the Wolves, and Lions break it initially. Cincina is going to shoot. You can't leave her open. And a complete breakdown for Cleo Lewis-Gale there on defence.
Yeah, but ability again, not worry about it. She sprinted the floor, and that opened up Georgia Smith on the weak side. It's Lewis-Gale running the floor that really opened that up, so credit to her. Don't sleep on that mistake and just get into that next play mentality.
Yeah, really, really, really wise word, especially for these young players. And Joseph makes the simple layup, just a quick pass between three players, and the Lions score. That's a really good point for any player, but especially young players. It's next play mentality. Gould again, still Gould, and Gould finishes with another underhand flip layup. Good play from Cassidy Gould. She applauds herself and says, come on, let's go Oaklands Wolves.
Yeah, and Gould up to 15 points, but Lions will be disappointed with that weak side defence allowing the lane to be wide open.
We had a perfect look, so do the people in the courtside seats. That is just a thing of beauty, Mike.
Yeah, and another terrific shooter. It's a third of the afternoon, and just someone you never want to leave open.
Georgia Smith, all of a sudden, the light's gone on for her, and Georgia hits back-to-back threes, but they need a stop here, Oaklands Wolves. And that's tough when you've got Winterburn to Harrigan, two of the best players in this league.
Yeah, but this game's starting to pick up a bit of an offensive rhythm. Neither team really looking like they're going to get stops. Even the shots that have been missed are wide open, but that's Georgia Smith in a nutshell. Let me see, the 36 points in 6 minutes, but that's Georgia Smith in a nutshell. She's one of those streaky players. Once she hits one or two, everything suddenly looks like a good shot to her, and she can make them so consistently. And we've seen a couple of games this year where she's just caught fire.
That's exactly what Oakland's Wolves require. 78-43, London Lions in control.
Yeah, and Smith just retying her laces, which is why we've got a little pause in the game.
They may have been singed because she just caught fire, as you referred to.
Yeah, that's a nice one. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Wolves can go back to her, because you made two. This is always a chance. Try and get your shooter going and turn her row. And there's a tough one. Told you she didn't. There you go. Everything looks like a good shot.
Exactly. She didn't quite get the Azania Stewart roll off her free throw earlier in the game, which we might see on some highlights. Just off from Beckford Norton. Here comes Cassidy Gould really pushing. Where's she going to go? Winterburn stays in front. Georgia Smith now guarded really closely by Vorpal, and a good attack there by Georgia Smith.
Yeah, and smart decision. Vorpal was so close that Smith knew any step, as long as you can avoid stepping on that baseline, that Vorpal's going to be in a position where she's going to have to reach or let you go, and Vorpal commits her third personal foul.
Ball's in off the baseline. Daisy Porter looking for options. Georgia Smith didn't quite have the rotation, but she's not going to turn down any shot at the moment.
No, indeed, and again, that's cross-court pass we talked about in the first half. Sometimes it's really dangerous, but sometimes it can lead to an open look, and that time Porter managed to squeeze the pass in to Smith.
Harrigan, still Harrigan. You've got to remember, for people that's maybe watching the WBBL for the first time, she's played in the WNBA, and she's going back there this summer.
Yeah, for sure, and that's the experience. She's really class on both ends.
And Cassidy Gould, that is so tough with Holly Winterburn right in her face. Good play from Cassidy Gould and the Wolves. Joseph to Winterburn. Winterburn dribbles left, just short, but Joseph too strong underneath.
Yeah, and again, the length of the line's wings. It's where you take one person out, box out, but they can send a second, they can send a third to the glass, and at some point you're going to have an advantage. And Joseph, great body position.
Georgia Smith blocked but fouled as well, and nice touch from Joseph helping her up.
Yeah, but as the leadership, you can see Cassidy Gold here. What she does, you'll notice on the weak side, it's definitely a foul by Joseph on the reaching, but look where Cassidy Gould is, on the far side of the three-point line. She sees her teammate hit the floor and she's sprinting over to pick her up, and that's just the leadership and the experience, and it's teaching some of the younger players this is a minimum expectation how everyone should do it. If your teammate hits decks and make a good play, go help them up.
Yeah, absolutely. And these three Australians know each other well. They've played together, represented Australia and won gold in regional FIBA tournaments, and they've played at such a high level. Obviously Cassidy Gould going to Davison, US College, so it's really a fantastic pickup. It's almost like a mini team ready to go as soon as they arrived at Oaklands Wolves.
For sure, and I'm sure Cassidy got some experience about the league coming in because she played with Kate Oliver in the summer for Diamond Valley, so yeah, she knew what she was getting into, and she's done a terrific job as Lions will get another turnover.
That's good defence by the team in white. Back outside, Gould teeing up her defender. Back to George, all the way across. Georgia Smith, got to be careful trying to take on Cincina there. Shot clock running down. Left hand. Grace George rips that rebound and bounces it and finishes. And that's what Grace George, I feel, adds that to her game. Consistently, she'd be almost unstoppable.
Yeah, and that's a little decision to realise, rather than take this 6 foot, I can turn it into a 1 footer all the way at the rim, and that extra bounce.
Harrigan rips through and foul. Grace George had her hands up, but just wouldn't have had the foot speed there to deal with Harrigan.
I think the foul's probably on Akpan on the weak side. In this 2-3 zone, you can see her rotating over, and indeed it is Akpan that comes across, and it's just a little bit late on that rotation, but Lions have done a really good job against the zone of attacking the baseline today. It's definitely an adjustment we've not seen before, but that's definitely been that into that short corner and let those wings, Cincina, Herbert, Harrigan, Joseph, drive baseline and try and collapse the defence and then decide what you want to do from there.
And is that caused by the Oaklands Wolves just stepping up too high at the back of the zone?
Yeah, I think so. Some of it is also the spacing of having a shooter in the corner where that bottom player's got to draw out to the corner, and then you can find that little pocket of space in between the wing and the big underneath.
Kiki comes out with another impressive performance. Miriam off the glass is no good. She just couldn't get it high enough. And here comes Vorpal. Battle moving off the ball, good save, but here comes the Oaklands Wolves. Sarsens pushing, shots going up and just off, and look at Beckford Norton and the foul, and she was flying. What an athlete she is.
Yeah, referees are just gonna talk on sports line. I think that was fine. She was, just a normal blocking foul. I agree with that. Obviously, Oakland's in the penalty, so it'll be 2 shots regardless, but it won't be possession. But Shanice Beckford-Norton, so athletic, and just the skill to keep your feet in bounds there is really difficult. Sort of toe tap the sideline almost to get to readjust, and knowing when not to touch the ball because you'll be out of bounds, when to touch the ball, and rewarded with a trip to the charity stripe.
Yeah, so first look at the free throw line today. She's up to 3 points, and she's such an important part of this London Lions team. I think we may have mentioned it last week. They need her energy and her positivity, game in, game out.
Yeah, she just plays so differently because of that. Again, similar to Beth Sarson in the way, that 3-on-3 experience. She's just so athletic, but can do a little bit of everything. Her 3-point shot's developed. She's tenacious defensively. Arguably, before this season, was probably the best on-ball defender in the league, and now she's been joined by Marianne Vopal, who are both terrific in that element as well. So that's the talent and the depth of this Lions roster.
Cassidy Gould, Eva Karasati, one of the. And it stays with the Wolves. So again, 4 academy players on the floor. 3 academy players with Sarson's former academy player and very recently a Leicester Riders player, but the travel and the logistics of playing at Leicester, just an offensive foul.
Yeah, moving screen, I think on Osai underneath, just trying to get away from the screen too early and set another one, but that first one moving. But yeah, Beth, really difficult decision to leave. She loved it. She loved it in Leicester, but these players are trying to work, some of them as well, and that travel commitment just didn't quite work. So she's found obviously really it's what a home away from home at Oaklands, and she's happy to be back.
Yeah, and playing as well as ever. Beckford Norton, double rip. Vorpal goes left, back to Beckford Norton, who's going to attack the middle, and doesn't quite get it to go. Good rebound from Cassidy Gould again, but can't dribble out. You just cannot dribble out when you've got Taylor Murray anywhere near you, and Beckford Norton ready to pounce as well.
Yeah, and that was the shot. That was the game clock pressure. They were trying to push to get a shot off before teammates weren't far enough ahead in transition, but great hands, and again that dynamic guard play by Lions on the defensive end to pressure the ball, always active and trying to look for steals, and able to capitalise on another strong offensive quarter by the Lions.
Yeah, we're at the end of the third here at the Copper Box. London Lions lead 87 to 48.
So, if you can see,
and there's the score by quarter, 32-18 in the third. It's the most points by both teams in a quarter in this game, but London Lions just having a little bit too much for the Wolves again, but some good signs. Georgia Smith going off offensively. I mean, Oakland's Wolves, they need more than just one or two scorers to have any success in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I think again, all season long, we've not really alluded to it all game, but Gould, Smith and George all in the top 10 in scoring in the league. So it's been that trio that have done a damage at all three in double digits. Beth Sarson obviously coming into that group as well. It's that depth of scoring, but that's where they just need one or two academy players just to take a big step forward. A lot of them have grown up during the year, but they're still not quite there. And if they can just grow a little bit more and become 7-8 points a game, that'll be big. But as you can see, we're still on that triple-double watch for Holly Winterburn. 7 rebounds, 9 assists. We already know she's there in points as well, and obviously a terrific quarter by Herbert Harrigan with 21 points personal on 81% shooting.
She's off the charts, and last week she was sensational as well, Harrigan. Just brilliant, but just going back to scoring leaders coming into this game. Georgia Smith is second at 18.9, Herbert Harrigan 18.6. Then comes Grace at 18.1, then comes Cassidy at 18. Just sensational scoring efforts by all of them.
Yeah, I mean, and averaging 18 in this game, in this league, with this depth of quality, especially in the mid-pack this year, is not an easy accomplishment. Keltis leading the league at 19.4, that's low on a normal year, but that says how much the league is continuing to grow, get deeper every year. Obviously, Mystics picked up their first win yesterday.
Yeah.
But it's that depth and quality in this league that keeps going as battle gets a line, and it's a really big step forward, and we've seen it with the crowds as well. It's a big crowd starting to fill out here. It obviously always looks empty because of how big the Copper Box is, but we had the record broken in Leicester last night. That's the second time we've had 1,300 plus for a domestic crowd this season, obviously plus the finals. I know Essex are trying to have a big crowd in next week for their home game to celebrate International Women's Day as well.
Yeah, I think women's sport it's so important, encouraging women to get involved in basketball, whether it's a player or a coach or official, just some way to get more females involved. And with Stella now leading this team, you've got a woman at the helm, and obviously the GM with Anya as well.
Yeah, and obviously Lauren Milligan, who's not here because she's got a game with her WBBL Division 1 side at London Lions 2 today.
Yes.
But she'd normally be on the bench as well for Lions.
Yeah, and I think it's really important that there is female involvement on the coaching staff for sure. So we're into the fourth. London Lions moving the ball around the outside. Oakland's in a 2-3 zone. Shots up and just off, and good rebound on the weak side. Almost stolen. Gould gets it. Still got it. Pulls up and just off left. Good job. And Shanice Beckford Norton comes away, not for the first time, with the loose ball. An offensive foul and great foot movement by Daisy Porter. She tried to take the charge earlier in the game. This time she's in close attendance on defence as well, as we see the replay.
And I think they just called Beckford Norton, rightly so. That right hand extended into the chest support, and that's a great spot because it's always going away from you. The angle was a little bit off, but correct call on Beckford Norton, and she will take a break because that's a 4th personal foul.
Just good play, but that's what these academy players and what Oakland's Wolves players have got to do. Just put their faces in, put their bodies on the line, and good things are going to happen. So Cassidy Gould versus Vorpal, really good matchup. Screen, Royose who rolls, Daisy Porter attacks, and Osei's going to go reverse layup, and that's good ball movement again, side to side movement underneath the hoop there, Mike.
Yeah, and kind of the defense kind of rotated because Cassidy was screaming for the ball, but as I kind of realised the defense is going to collapse, I'm going to have a lane here, and then couldn't quite get the reverse layup to go, but another really smart move and rewarded with 2 free throws.
And the academy players have just got to believe in their shot because there is only Cassidy on the floor, and this is not the first time Tor Freeman has done this, just having one pro and the rest young players.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily about this game right now for Oakland, it's that playoff run, knowing that you're going to need some of these players to step up down the back end of the season.
And the bank is open at the Copper Box on a Sunday with the free throw. Why not? Any way you can get it in.
Hey, when you're 0-9 on the season, you will take any way to get a free throw in. Obviously, cleaner than Azania Stewart's, which hit the top of the backboard in the first quarter.
Yeah, that was. I hope we see that again, and it's on some sort of highlight reel. Shots up, and offensive rebound tip by Gould, keeping it alive for Daisy Porter. Now be careful, Daisy, because you've got one of the top defensive guards right in front of you. Nice job by Cassidy Gould getting in behind Winterburn. Shots up from Akpan, it's off left, but good look.
Fight for the rebound.
And Lions get the rebound. 8 minutes just over remaining in the 4th. It's WBBL action, first of a doubleheader here at the Copper Box. London Lions BBL action next as Vorpal puts the shot up off left. No box out. And Murray gets the offensive rip. And there's Shaquilla Joseph. Just a little drop off again for Winterburn.
And it's that off-ball movement from the line. Someone drives and all 4 recognise I need to relocate, make a better passing angle, and that's just the small things that anyone at home can kind of learn from, is that you've got to react to the ball and give passers options.
Oh, nice catch and almost a finish. And that is going to be a finish. Great job on the catching the ball and stepping through from Osei.
Yeah, and again, it's the Tenacians are trying to fight for these rebounds, not always coming up with them, but the tip to keep it alive was what really created that, as Joseph a little bit too strong on the pass.
Yeah, Joseph to battle. So a score and a stop for the Wolves as subs coming in. Gordon, Carrasco, Mendes out. In comes. Good job by SA there with that step through and finish. And Cleo Lewis Gale in for the Wolves.
Also taking a break.
40-point differential, but I think Oakland Wolves, and they're getting trapped on that sideline. Murray just non-stop on defence. Georgia Smith gets baseline, spins, and tries to get off the top of the backboard. And Winterburn with the rebound. She's getting really close to that triple-double now.
Yeah, I think 1 rebound short.
And here's the 3 coming up and just off. Tie battle, not boxed out, and a foul by Daisy Porter. And sometimes you can try and box out, but sometimes it's just genetics and difference in size and experience.
And yeah, you can see Tor Freeman's not upset with that. It's just the rotation. Porter put a body on Battle, but at some point 6'1" going to beat 5'6", 5'7", especially when you've got someone as athletic as Battle to go up and get it. So not a lot Porter could have done there.
And Battle 100% from the line. 3 of 3 now. Misses that one, and good job by Joan Akpan. Mike was concerned that pass was going to get picked off, but here comes Porter, and wow, big swipe down, no foul called. Here comes Murray, difficult to catch in the open floor.
And that's the ability of Herbert Haugen. She mistimed a couple, but learned from that this time, get a better angle to come down and a good clean block. And Lions rewarded in transition.
An unforced error really on that sideline possession, and good concentration by Vorpal. And coach has seen enough. So Freeman calls timeout, and London Lions are hunting in packs, and they're on a roll. Timeout of the copper box. Hope you're enjoying the action. Lions 96, Oaklands 51.
Yeah, and again, it's those turnovers from Oakland. They've been really punished today. They've done a fairly good job looking after the ball. I think it's only turnover 16, which for a young side isn't too bad, but it feels like every single one is a steal, and then Lions out in transition. They've got 20 points now from, I think 19 points from turnovers, 32 fast break points, and that really just snowballs into an effect.
Yeah, and I hope you're enjoying the YouTube live stream. See some of your comments. Thank you for interacting with us. Mike's going to just having a little look, see what some ones that we can give a call out to.
Yeah, I think people talking about obviously how competitive the league is, and obviously Lions to a degree are a step ahead with everything at the moment, but we see it's competitive. Right now we're looking at middle of April. We're going to have a title decider here at the Copper Box. Leicester Riders, London Lions, both on one league loss. If that holds, we will go to that game, and that'll be a title decider here at the Copper Box, and that's great for the league.
It's exactly what's needed. The two best teams going at it when they come down the stretch.
And obviously there's potential those two teams will meet in the trophy final, because the trophy semi-finals are coming up. We saw Caledonia Gladiators, who are here next with the men, into the final. And then obviously the women's semi-finals are next week, so it's Lions are going to play at Oaklands, and they'll take on the Cheshire Hatters next week.
Georgia just can't get that to go. Here comes Winterburn in the open floor, still in the open floor, extends and doesn't get it to go. No foul.
Now, for those of you watching at home, we need one Holly Winterburn rebound for a triple-double.
Winterburn just off with the three. Nice little shovel pass from Vorpal, and that's an assist. Kiki Herbert Harrigan. Just too big, too strong underneath.
Yeah, and again, another just quiet performance, 23 points.
Shots up off the dribble for Grace George, no good on that occasion. And there's the rebound.
Yep,
for Holly Winterburn.
Holly Winterburn, triple-double. Another big stat line, and she's done it on the defensive end as well, 4 steals as well for Winterburn.
Valid score on the entry pass.
Zania Stewart with drawing the foul there. What a performance by Winterburn. She's out. And comes Cincina.
Indeed, as Holly comes out of the game and replaced by Cincina. But obviously, it's one thing we've not had a chance to talk about really is obviously the signing deadline's gone now, Graham. So with some news too as Zania Stewart converts, but the important thing is obviously the signing deadline done, that Lions are kind of stuck with the roster, and they've decided that Paulina Hörsler's the one that's not going to play for the rest of the season. Obviously that was a really difficult decision for the Lions staff to make. So it'll be Cincina, Vorpal, Murray and Battle to finish the season for the Lions.
Yeah, Hörsler, Swedish international, and has been a big help. But rules are rules. Shot up for Grace George. And still by Oakland's Wolves, ball's loose, still got it. Nice job by Daisy Porter with the handoff pass.
Yeah, and Porter making plays at both ends. She got the hand in for the steal, and then at the other end, but there's Winterburn with the triple-double, taking the break. Probably done for the game. 10 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 4 steals, and a plus-minus of 48 as well, which is terrific.
Yeah, just another awesome performance by Holly Winterburn. There's Grace George at the line. Oakland's Wolves have just got to keep going because
Yeah, and again, it's that depth of this Lions team. We've got 5 players in double digits. Battle Joseph only a field goal away as well.
Yeah, Zania Stewart inside to Cincina. Harrigan thinks about the 3 and catch and shoot from Cincina from the elbow. No good. Zania Stewart gets another rebound. Ball's loose and just falls into the hand of Herbert Harrigan, and she does the rest.
Yeah, and again, Lions just crashing the offensive glass, and Stewart able to keep it alive. And again, that lovely little tip pass really proving successful for Lions.
A bit flat there from Grace George. Great hustle from Beth Sarsons.
Substitutions checking into the
And that'll be foul on Cincina, her 3rd, as head coach Tor Freeman calls timeout. And there's Holly's triple-double confirmed. You can see the Lions players enjoying life on the bench.
Yeah, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. And she does it the way I like, the way Holly plays. It's all within the flow of the game.
For sure, and you know what, we'll catch her with Holly post-game, but she'll probably be frustrated because she'll look at her shooting percentage, 1 and 7 from 3, and hasn't got it going. But there's the offensive rebounds tying in, 14 offensive rebounds now, the same amount of second chance points. And to be fair, Oaklands have done okay on the glass as well. 9 offensive rebounds against this team isn't easy to do.
And as for Oakland's Wolves, as you said earlier, it's not just about this result, it's about building for the games coming up, and they've got to try and push. Tor's got to keep them confident, keep all the academy players involved and believing in themselves, and try and push for a playoff spot.
Yeah, another challenge next week. They've got Caledonia coming down, but you see that that assist, exactly the same as last week from Lions, just that ball movement is king. But as much as ball movement, as we referred to all broadcasts, it's the off-ball movement that is so impressive.
Yeah, I think it's been exceptional, their team play, and that's what I guess Stella Kaltsidou, it's her 3rd game in charge. It's what she's going to want to see building. I'll say back outside to Grace George. Under 10 seconds, George attacks. Little pass to Georgia Smith, and that's a beautiful little shot. A nice interaction by the 2 Aussies.
Yeah, and it'll be important now for Oaklands to score a couple of scores.
Beautiful ball movement.
And they can't get it to go, and Joseph has a 3rd offensive attempt, and this time she gets it to go, and that's frustrating for the Wolves, but great job by Shaquila Joseph.
Yeah, just that 2nd, 3rd effort, didn't quite get it to go, but just the ability to stay with the play and then have that composure to finish at the 3rd time and not worry about the previous 2 misses.
Yeah, great perseverance, resilience from Shaquila Joseph inside, but you're not, if Murray's any, look at the afterburners. Left hand layup, nobody from the Wolves can keep up with that. That's just sensational from Murray. Yeah,
really important for Lions just to keep that defensive tendency going, because that semi-final is next week. You really want to tick over, because Sheffield Hatters are going to be a tough opposition.
Yeah, that semi-final at shots just short. Good job by George. That semi-final at Oaklands College, at Oaklands Wolves' home floor. It's been that'll be the 2nd game at Oaklands College in St Albans, so that it's good for people to be able to watch the London Lions from different areas in the capital and the surrounding counties. A nice play from Cassidy Gould, just pulling up at the free throw line.
Yeah, and she's been terrific all afternoon. The leadership as well with Gould, the way she's kept the team engaged, up to 19 points, 8 rebounds as well. And again, another big step for Oaklands is getting Gould, George playing well at the back end of the year.
Joseph again with another offensive rebound. She can't get that to go. Push ahead. George, bounce pass, fade away, and that is just off, but tough shot in the end for Cassidy Gould.
Yeah, but Oaklands have really struggled in transition today. Lions, you've got to credit Lions defense. Everything early in the shot clock is really difficult.
Taylor Murray attacks, gets it back fortuitously, and again Shaquila Joseph just hanging around, some smiles there between the two players. That was fortunate, but you've got to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and again, it's that quick thinking though. Get the ball back and, okay, now I've got to do something with it because you weren't expecting it. And Murray able to find the pass and yet another assist for the Lions. And Taylor Murray, again, just defensively is where she's great, but it's those little decision makings as well. And suddenly you look at stats, it's 6-7 assists, and that's what you expect week in, week out from someone with her experience and quality.
15.6 assists, 5 steals, a lot of open layups as well for Murray. Grace George off one leg. That shot seems to be getting, the release seems to be getting a little bit low for Grace. Maybe slightly fatigued. Cincina, she's been working really hard trying to cope with this Lions team. Cincina, and that was perfect, straight line.
Yeah, and every time you think Cincina open, she's just going to knock it down time and time again. That's the quality, her experience, and 4 or 5 from 3, and even though it feels like a quiet game, 19 points on the board.
Yeah. And Grace George, not a quiet move there. That's making a lot of noise. Going left, finishing right.
Yeah, and again, just the ability to take that contact and be able to have the strength to finish through it, really important. But Oaklands are going to come out of it with a lot of positives on the ball. They're nearly going to get to 60 points, which is obviously a much bigger increase than what they had early in the season. Obviously, we know a lot of players missed that first game, but a building curve, and Lions are still going to want to improve on that defensively. That's definitely the adjustment they're making is on the defensive end, but steps forward for Oakland certainly. And again, they'll be excited for that challenge of Caledonia coming in next week.
Yeah, well, of course, Caledonia Gladiators beat London Lions a couple of weeks ago in the Epic here by 1 point, and then Gladiators lose yesterday to Newcastle, and Oakland's Wolves have just got to keep pushing because Gladiators are a tough team, but there may be some better matchups for them in amongst that roster as opposed to the Lions roster.
Yeah, for sure, and obviously Gladiators a couple of injuries yesterday, but again, it's that playoff run that we're looking at. You've got Durham are currently the 8th seed. They've got 4 wins. Cardiff 4 wins. Nottingham 3. Oakland's 3. So that pack is really congested. Essex have got a tough schedule coming up now with the coaching change with Tom Sadler leaving us. Battle doesn't quite get the offensive rebound and put back to go, but it's going to be super competitive and really exciting for the league to end the season.
Yeah, you want battles all through those top 8 positions, and what a beautiful shot from Vorpa. I'm really impressed with the way she shoots the ball amongst everything else she does. George attacks left hand, and she's going all the way to the bucket. This time, traditional left hand layup.
Yeah, and again, that's the average. Just those little points at the end all tally up to that average, and Grace George up to 15 to win the game, but Lions really deserve win.
Yes, another big victory for the Lions. Mike's going to go down and get a post-game interview with one of the Lions players. 115 points they have accrued today. 133 last week. Oakland's Wolves with a lot of credit for this young team. 60 points here, a big outing for their players here at the Copper Box. But it's a big win for the London Lions. 115 to 60. They win and march on. That's great performance from the Lions. 6 of their players in double figures, and here's the shooting percentage. Let's look at Lions. 65% from 2, 36 from 3, 9 of 25, 18 of 26 from the free throw line, 12 of 22, 4 of 20, and 18 of 48 for the Oaklands Wolves. Free throws, 3 points, 2 pointers. And here's the leading scorers. Harrigan, just a smooth 25, Cincina 19. Taylor Murray with all that defence and assists, 15 points. Goldsmith and George leading the Oaklands Wolves as they have done, and leading the league well within the top 10 of all scorers for Oaklands Wolves. So well done to the London Lions. A professional performance, but challenged by the Oaklands Wolves academy players and their senior players, Beth Sarsons, Cassidy Gould, who was sensational as well for Oaklands Wolves as we look at some of the highlights. Kiki Herbert Harrigan, 25 points, 11 of 14, 78% from the field, 9 of 10 from 2, 2 of 4 from 3, 1 of 2 from the line. 7 rebounds, 2 assists, a couple of offensive rebounds. But there was some really good play from the Oaklands Wolves. Beautiful no-look pass from Holly Winterburn. Holly is the pick of a lot of great London Lions performances. Herbert Harrigan with a long-range shot there. But Holly Winterburn, one of our own, a British player, 27 minutes, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 4 steals, just the 3 turnovers. Ines Sincina, pure shooter. The Belarusian international, 19 points, 4 of 5 from behind the arc. Then Georgia Smith caught fire, a couple of quick threes. She had a slow start in this game, but really got going in the second half. We're going to have an interview now, very shortly, with Holly Winterburn. Over to Mike Hanson-Morris, who's with
now
Holly
here
Winterburn.
with the game MVP, Holly. 115-60 win. Another game in the books, learning the new system, and you must be delighted.
Wait, I can hear 2 things. Okay, sorry, say that again.
So you're obviously growing in the new system with all the changes, 55-point win, but another big step forward by the team, especially defensively today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 60 points is probably still a little bit too much, but you know, when we're firing on all cylinders, I think we had what, like 5 people in double digits. You know, it's hard to stop us. So we're going to keep getting better, but again, another step.
And that ball movement, a big feature. 35 assists as a team. Just how comfortable are you playing with each other at the moment?
I think everyone knows each other's strengths and weaknesses from now, so you know, we know where each other are going to be, and our offense is really free flowing. So we just got everyone to knock it down today.
And a big performance by you, triple-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. How confident are you in your game at the moment?
I think I'm really confident. You know, Stella's come in and she wants me to do a bit of everything, and you know, that's what I did today. So I couldn't make a shot, but here we go, triple-double.
And obviously looking forward, semi-final next week against Sheffield Hatters. How important is it to get the momentum going from today into that game?
Well, I think, you know, Sheffield are another good team in the league, and you know, we took that one loss, so everyone thinks they have a chance to beat us now. So we've got to go and make a statement and just assert our authority from the beginning.
Well, Holly, thanks for joining us. We'll let you go get your cool down in.
Thank you.
Well said. Holly Winterburn speaking confidently, playing confidently. It's WBBL Championship round 17, London Lions 115 to Oaklands Wolves 60. It's been just a fabulous performance. Again, 36 assists for London Lions, 14 steals, 19 offensive rebounds, 62 rebounds total, and it's just been a fabulous performance. And how confident, as Mike rejoins me just to finish off it, how confident Holly Winterburn speaks, and that's shown on the way she plays on the floor.
Yeah, and that's the leadership she's been given all year, to come in, stamp her authority on it. But she touched upon it there, it's that everyone's starting to click with each other. It doesn't matter what's gone on behind the scenes with changes, they know each other's game, and that allows them to just take that next level, the off-ball movement, the passing, and they're going to be a really difficult team to stop the rest of the season.
Yeah, agreed. And for Oakland Wolves, just a couple of comments about them. Some good moments. Obviously, they've got their leaders. Beth Sarson's back, but some good moments for the academy players as well.
Yeah, and again, it's taking the small positives, the ball movement clip that in that first quarter where they took the extra third pass. They're going to be things you can build on. They're getting more experience, and there's no better team to challenge yourselves against than the London Lions. And they're going to come out of this going, you know what? When we're at our best, we can compete with anyone.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely true. And Georgia Smith grew into the game. Once she was firing, then who do you guard, really? And I think it was a really good test that they gave, and some conundrums and some amazing shots from Beth Sarsons with her underhand shots, the free throw from Azania Stewart. There were some crazy moments. Well, it's been a super win for the Lions. Again, they had that stumble against the Gladiators. They're now back on track. Big win last week, another one today for Oaklands Wolves. Mike, it's been a pleasure again to have you alongside the guru for the colour commentary. We've got another game coming up, London Lions BBL versus Caledonia Gladiators. At the moment, myself, Graham Hiscott, Mike Hanson-Morris, goodbye.